Today, we go a little bit deeper into the police career and the probationary period and how to be successful. Let's discuss. Hey, before we get started, I have two gifts in the description for you. One is the Getting Started workshop. It's going to walk you through every phase of the hiring process. Plus, there's some hidden bonuses in there. Use them, they're for you. Next is a coaching call with a member of my team or myself if you want. And you can jump on it, ask us anything you want. We'd be glad to help you as much as possible. Go over any aspect of your career, your hiring process, whatever you have. Now, we're going deeper, right? We're going deeper. Like I said, we're going to go into a little bit more of success, right? You've already got into the academy, right? You're going through the academy, or you're going to have to complete the academy, and you have a probationary period. Well, most individuals don't understand that the probationary period includes a significant amount of time. Sometimes it could be a year, sometimes it could be 2 years, but what's all included in it? Well, one, the academy. In the academy, you are in your probationary period, which means you can be terminated, and this is not to scare you, but you can be terminated for one, failing the academy or failing a section of the academy. That's a violation of your probation. That's a termination, right? The next could be you could fail it for, for ethics or integrity. Anything that you would be able to be kicked out of your probationary period for in out on the street is the same thing. But then there's another component to it. FTO, field training program, or your field training officer program. And that's also in your probationary period, which is where you're being evaluated day in and day out by a senior officer that you're assigned to. And that's usually 6 months long, right? At least 6 months long. Some departments make it out to a year. Some departments can make it 2 to 3 months. It just depends, right? Every department's a little bit different, but let's say for the average, it's about 6 months of a FTO. So a probationary period. They say, hey, your probationary period is your first year after hire. Well, that's great. If it works in conjunction with FTO and your academy, you're off your probation once you finish the academy and FTO. So you do 6 months in the academy, followed by 6 months FTO. Once you're done your FTO, you're off your probationary period, right? Now you would actually have to make a significant issue to no longer keep your position or your career. But let's back up here into the academy and to FTO, right? So the academy, the entire time you're in there, you're being evaluated, right? You're being evaluated by your instructors, you're being evaluated by your peers, right? All that is critical components to becoming a police officer, right? Yes, you get hired, you make it through the hiring process. You're not done, right? You're still not done. You're still on that, say, everyone's like, I got my final offer. Yes, but it's still semi a conditional offer in the condition that you complete the academy and your FTO, right? So you can still easily be removed from that position with just the stroke of a pen. And there's not much you can do to argue it because you're in a probationary status, right? Whereas if an officer is terminated, after they're off probationary, there's a lot they can do, right? They can definitely go for wrongful termination. They could go for a significant amount of things. And it's very hard to actually terminate a law enforcement officer. You really need to find just cause and it be factual in order for them to lose their position. Now, for you specifically, though, you just made it through, you just got your final offer. Well, now you're going into the academy and you're saying, oh, I'm good, I'm locked in, I don't have anything to worry about. That's not necessarily the best way you want to approach that, right? The best way you want to approach this is you may want to look at it along the lines of, hey, I am going through the hiring process. I've finished the hiring process. I'm now in the next stage to ensure my career, my lengthy career. I would tell you that one of the biggest factors I see with individuals is, I've mentioned this before, that false confidence, but then they completely drop their guard. They completely drop their guard when they get into the academy, and they're not putting in the same effort they did to get through the hiring process or to get hired as they need to stay hired. The academy, depending on which academy you go to, if you fail a single test, they could remove you. A lot of times, what they'll do is they'll have a kind of a double tap standard. And what that looks like is, let me give you the FLETCs, right? Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. you get to fail one test, right? So you have four major tests throughout the uniform training program. You have four major tests. Out of those tests, I'm pretty sure it's four. It's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure it's four. So you have four major tests. If you fail one test, you get to remediate, which means you get to do some training and fail again. But that's your one failure. You don't get to fail again, right? And failing is below 75, right? So if you fail, that's it. It doesn't matter if you fail on the first test. That's your one get. You cannot fail another test after that, right? So you can't fail the remedial test and you can't fail the three other tests. You could fail on the first test, pass the first test, and then take the second test, pass that, take the third test, pass that, and then fail again on the fourth test, and you're done. Even though you're at the end of your training, you're done. You don't get to remediate because you used your one chance. Now, not every department's like that, but I'm telling you, or excuse me, not every academy is like that, but I'm telling you, there are academies out there that are like that, and things you have to consider with that is the fact that you have that obligation. So if you go into this and you say, hey, I'm good, I am set, I don't need to worry about it, I got hired, I'm getting paid, I'm a police officer, I'm proud of you, congrats for making it past that point. But you're not done yet. And matter of fact, you're never done. And I've said this before, and I'll continue to say this. This applies to me as well. The minute you say you're done learning is the minute you should retire or hang up, your badge and just be done, right? The minute you say, hey, I don't need to learn anymore, or you think you know everything, you should just stop because you're going to get yourself or your partner or a member of the community or civilians hurt that don't need to be hurt, right? Or you're going to ruin someone's life that's life doesn't need to be ruined, right? So that's where you don't stop, right? Just because you got into the academy. If every time you make it to a new stage, you double down and you push harder because you have more knowledge behind you to push harder. When you go in through the hiring process, unless you're, getting some guidance from me or for someone else or, one of our instructors, or you're just maybe your own mentor, you know nothing. You're going through the process completely blind, but besides what you can find out there versus information or mentorship. Next, you go into the academy, and then you are assigned mentors. You don't get to pick your mentor. Now you're assigned a mentor, and regardless if you click with that mentor or not, you have all these instructors, and you have 20 different instructors. You have firearms instructors, you have physical training instructors, you have defensive tactics instructors, you have police operation instructors, you have driving instructors, you have just a multitude. You have your primary instructor, right? You have your lecture instructor, you have legal instructor. I could go on all day long about this, right? Understand that you're assigned them. Whether you blend with all of them or not, it doesn't matter. You have to accept who's assigned to you. So then the next phase of this, right? You're going through the academy. You have to do really well in the academy, but then you get through the academy and another big congratulations. Super proud of anyone going through or finishing up the academy right now. But let's say you get through the academy and now you're assigned another mentor, except this one's one-on-one. Now it's not few to many, right? Few instructors to many candidates or police trainees. But now you're a sworn police officer with arrest authority under the contingency that you are assigned a field training officer to ensure that your academy training is translated properly to the street, right? To the community so that you don't just say, oh, hey, this is what the academy taught me, but I'm going to do whatever I want. No, they're going to ensure that you're doing, and you're getting a feel for your patrol area and your local area, right? They're going to give you that local knowledge that the academy may not have. So now you're done the academy, you're rolling into FTO, you're assigned a field training officer. Now he or she is assigned directly. It's just you. They're not sharing. Their attention isn't split. They're solely focused on your training. Whether you're doing good or bad, they're going to tell you. And you're being observed every day. And you have to report to the supervisor every day on what you did, right or wrong, right? You have to report what you've learned. You have to cover a multitude of a checklist of you have to get these things done. And guess what? If those things aren't done, if that checklist isn't done by 6 months, you don't move out of FTO. And if it's not done because you didn't get a specific arrest, like processing a DUI arrest, right? Okay, they're going to give you some grace, but it's not done because say you messed up on processing a DUI arrest and then you didn't get another one. that's going to look negatively on you. And if you don't pass FTO, you don't continue on to go out there and patrol, patrol by yourself or get assigned a partner and go patrol. And if you don't get assigned patrol, or if you don't get assigned, release, full authority, whether that's, and this could be anything. This could be corrections. This could be, working as a deputy sheriff, as a bail. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens in FTO, if you don't make it through FTO, you get removed. And that's part of it because you're still in probationary period, right? So now you have academy 6 months, right? Typically, you have FTO 6 months. Typically, there's your year. But let's say they don't count academy and FTO as your year. Like, let's say it doesn't start there. Now they say your probationary year starts after you pass FTO because that's a conditional employment requirement. Okay. Well, now your year starts after you've already done a year. So it's technically really 2 years of probation. So on top of that, now you're released on your own, which by the way, you're going to be super nervous about. Now you're released on your own. Don't worry, you'll get through it. I promise. Happens all the time. I'm here to help if you need it, but you get released on your own. You're super nervous about making traffic stops or making, community contacts or whatever. Now you need to not mess up for a year, right? Which means you need to not illegally detain someone. You definitely can't illegally arrest someone. You can't escalate violence or anything along those lines, which you should never be doing anyway, right? But you're still on there. So one slip up, you're not meeting your conditions of employment or your expectations, your performance plan, right? As a government employee, you're most likely going to have a performance plan. Like, hey, you must meet this criteria. You must attend this many trainings. You must do your 40-hour refresher trainings, even though you just finished the academy. You must do XYZ, right? And these are part of your performance plans, your evaluations, right? Whether it's monthly, quarterly, whatever. And you're in probationary status. So if you're not meeting your evaluation standards, once again, you can be terminated for that. So there's a lot to it. This is not meant to scare you. This is just meant to tell you, hey, celebrate the win, right? You get hired, celebrate the win, you get your final offer. Celebrate the win. Don't do anything crazy, go out and get in trouble because it'd immediately be removed from you. Celebrate the win. But understand, this is a career. This is a lifelong career of service. And you're never done. Now, here's the nice part about it, is eventually it becomes like second nature, right? Eventually you're going to get through, you're going to be in for a year, and you're going to, okay, I got a good idea on how it works. I have no problem. And you're going to grow so much as not only as an individual and as an individual person, but as a community member, right? You're going to help so many people. It's ridiculous. There's no better, as a selfish level, there's no more individually rewarding career out there, in my opinion, because you're literally going to have a direct impact on people, and you're going to make such a positive change in a lot of people too. But you're going to go out there and you're going to do this, and you're going to say, oh, I got hired, I can relax. No, because then the academy is going to hit and you're going to be, wow, that was a gut punch. And then you're going to say, oh, I passed the academy, I can relax. And then no, now you have FTO and your field training officer, good or bad, doesn't matter. You're stuck with them, right? And you're going to say, wow, before, I might be able to sneak by because there was, 25, 50 of us in the academy and they had to watch all of us at the same time. I could make a little mistake and they wouldn't say anything about it. Now they're saying every mistake you make, they're going to say something about it because they want to train you and they want to prepare you to be the best that you can be to serve your community. So there's a lot to it, right? Go in and review all this. Go through, understand you're not done after just hiring. You have your probationary period, which usually includes your academy and your FTO. And if your department doesn't include that in the FTO or your academy and FTO in your probationary period, then you're going to have another extended time afterwards where you have to make sure that you are just you're following your training to the letter. We'll put it that way. I hope this helps. Down below, like I said, are those gifts for you. The Getting Started workshop is going to walk you through every phase of the hiring process. My gift to you, there's some hidden bonuses in there as well as the coaching call. Jump on it. You can jump on a call with me. My time is limited, but you can jump on a call with all my other members of my team as well, and jump on and we'll cover everything you want. Anything that you want to discuss. If you want to discuss more about the process after you get hired, we're here for you. If you want to discuss the hiring process, your hurdles, anything, we're here for you. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.